Hello everyone, I am your Bala. Welcome back to a new video. In this video, we are going to look into a summary of the book, The Warren Buffett Way, one of the famous, most intelligent person's way of investing. Let's go into a book. I hope all of you are enjoying the lively book reading experience you get from these videos. These are the chapters of the book. This is the first chapter, a 5 Sigma event, the world's greatest investor. The second chapter, the education of Warren Buffett. And the third chapter is nothing but buying a business, the 12 immutable tenets. The fourth chapter is the common stock purchases. And the fifth chapter is the portfolio management. And the sixth chapter is the psychology of investing. While the seventh chapter is the value of patience. And the eighth chapter, last chapter, is the world's greatest investor. So we saw the first chapter in the earlier video. So in this video, we are going to see a summary of the second chapter, the education of Warren Buffett. So let's go into see what's the education of Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett education is, as we shall see, a synthesis of three different investment philosophies from the minds of three powerful figures. First is Benjamin Graham, second is Philip Fisher, and third is Charlie Munger. However, those who consider Buffett to be a singular product of Graham's teachings are ignoring the influence of two other powerful financial thinkers, Philip Fisher and Charlie Munger. So we will study about all three of them in this chapter. So now we are going to look into Benjamin Graham. So what are the teachings of Benjamin Graham? Benjamin Graham is well known for his two books. One is The Intelligent Investor and the other is a security analysis. He proposed a way of selecting stocks called the margin of safety. Exactly. The strategy consists of two techniques. One is purchases shares when the overall market is trading at a low price, and second is purchases the stocks when it trades below its intrinsic value, even though the overall market is not substantially cheap. Either the market should be cheap or the stock should be cheap, so that you get the margin of safety. And Benjamin Graham's teachings. So first is an investment operation should promises the safety of principal and a satisfactory return. Operations not meeting these requirements are speculative. They are not investments. Second, Graham solidified the don't lose philosophy guidelines into two steps. One, buy a company for less than 2/3 of its net asset value. And second, focus on stocks with low price to earnings ratio. So third point is, Graham figured that if the margin between earnings and the fixed charges were large, investors would be protected from an unexpected decline in the company's income. And the fourth point is, a company's intrinsic value can be determined by estimating the future earnings of the company and multiplying those earnings by an appropriate capitalization factor, which differs from person to person. So, and the fifth point is, describes analysis as a three-step process. First, descriptive, gathering all the facts. Second, critical, examining their merits, whether they are good, they are bad. And the third is selective, passing judgment on the attractiveness of the security. So these are the 5 teachings of Benjamin Graham. So the next topic is Philip Fisher. So Philip Fisher is no one but a graduate from Stanford Graduate School of Business Administration, and he's an analyst. He worked as an analyst at the Anglo London and Paris National Bank in San Francisco, and he's a head of bank's statistical department. So he has some knowledge about finance and some background in finance. So his teachings are: first, Fisher would rather own shares in a few outstanding companies than in a larger number of average companies. So he doesn't go and buy n number of companies, rather buy few companies which are very good. Generally, his portfolio includes less than 10 companies, and 3 or 4 companies represent 75% of the entire equity portfolio. Second, a company with a low break-even point or correspondingly high profit margin is better able to withstand depressed economic environments Ultimately, it can be drive out weaker competitors, thereby strengthening its own market position. Third is that Fisher was not much concerned with consistent annual increases in sales. Rather, he judged the company's success over a period of several years at rates greater than the industry average. Fourth, the two types of our companies would decade by decade show promise of above average growth. One, those that were fortunate and able, and those that are fortunate because they are able. Fifth teachings of Fisher is Fisher believed that superior profits could be made by investing in companies with above average potential and aligning oneself with most capable management. So these are the five teachings of Fisher. So next we'll be looking into Charlie Munger. Yeah. So most of us know Warren Buffett, but many of us don't know who is Charlie, right? So he is Charlie Munger, and he's the son of a lawyer. So he's a grandson of a federal judge. So he's a family who's coming from law, and he's a successful law practitioner in Los Angeles. Eight, he came towards finance. So Charlie Munger, even though both men grew up in Omega and had many acquaintances in common, Buffett and Charlie did not actually meet until 1959. By that time, Charlie had moved to South California. So when he returned to Omega, where Buffett stayed when his father died, so the two young men met, and which was the beginning of an extraordinary partnership. And Charlie is especially interested in many areas of knowledge: science, history, philosophy, psychology, and mathematics. Those who want to fully appreciate his depth and breadth of Charlie's knowledge would read his wonderful book, Poor Charlie's Almanac: The Wit and Wisdom of Charles T. Munger. Charlie Munger. In 1960, Charlie began buying shares of blue chip stamps in the late 1960s and eventually became the chairman of its board. And when blue chip stamps in 1964, they merged together, forming a company called Berkshire Hathaway. So in 1978, when Berkshire and blue chip merged in 1978, the Charlie became the Berkshire Hathaway's vice chairman. To get a sense of how closely two are aligned, you only have to count the number of times Buffett has reported that Charlie and I did this, or decided that, believed this, or looked into that. Charlie and I were as if the same one person, he was mentioning in his speeches. Some of the examples of Charlie works are: the company was valued at 3 times book value, a very steep price according to Graham's value based precepts. Charlie convinced Buffett that paying what he thought was a steep price was actually a good deal. For Buffett, it was the first major move away from Graham's philosophy of buying a company only when it was underpriced in relation to its hard book value. Both men possess an uncompromising attitude towards common sense and business principles. Berkshire stakeholders have benefited not only one mine but over two for over 35 years. So the last topic is a blending of intellectual influences. A blending of intellectual influences. Yeah. So Warren Buffett education is primarily consists of three major persons. One is Philip Fisher, from whom he learned what is quantitative analysis and what is value investing, and stocks available at a discount to the current intrinsic value. And fourth point is cautious about diversification. Next is Benjamin Graham. He is also a qualitative analyst and he prefers value of a company and stocks having its potential to rise the intrinsic value in future and never overstresses diversification. Next is Charlie Munger, active embodiment of Fisher's qualitative theories, economic returns that comes from great businesses. Charlie is also the present day echo of Ben Graham, the psychology of misjudgment. Yeah. So these three peoples are the pillars of Warren Buffett and his company. Hope you learned about the education of world's greatest investor Warren Buffett from this video. If so, then it would be kind of you to show your love by hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel so that you can able to watch the summary of the next chapter, which teaches us what are important points to consider while buying a business. Until then, it's a bye from Bala. Keep learning, keep growing.